Hey, you guys, welcome back. As a fan of all things media and creative in the world of the arts, I'm always excited to hear about things that are happening here in Utah that maybe I hadn't been previously aware of. And certainly in the world of film and television production, Utah is flexing its muscles a little bit, I do believe. And of course, the best part of all about it, besides lots of jobs here in Utah, is also the recognition that our community gains for the talent that is here and the work that they are doing to bring new projects to the screen, silver large or small, to your phone, just about anywhere. There is fantastic content being made right here in the great state of Utah. And to wit, our first guests this evening are the creators of a brand new program that is premiering tomorrow night on the CW. I'm going to let them do all of the particulars about the background of the show, but suffice to say that we are getting a little bit of our fantasy sci-fi on here in the great state of Utah. I'm excited to be joined by the creators of the Outpost, Mr. Fowler and Mr. Griffin. It's Kynan and Jason. How are you guys? Nice to see you. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
It's, I always think about this moment at the beginning of a conversation, and of course we've just met. But the fact that when someone such as myself, we just meet and I say, wow, great job, congratulations, and it's like, yeah, we did all that stuff. So all the sleepless nights.
This is what made it all worth it. Just this moment right here.
Touche, brother.
Oh,
touche.
No.
I guess first and foremost, talk about the series and talk about the background of the creation of it. And I want to find out more about you guys as individual artists. But let's talk about this program since it's the exciting new thing that's happening for you guys.
All right.
Yeah.
The Outpost.
Yeah, the Outpost. It's
All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll be right back.
We should do this in our sleep.
I guess the backstory of the Outpost is it's a story about Talon. She's the lone survivor of a genocide against her people, and we follow her kind of initial mission of revenge to find the people who killed her family, and it leads her into this lawless, forsaken place out on the very edge of civilization, this military outpost. And it's here that she kind of finds herself. You know, she's a weird loner in the world, and this place is full of outcasts and crazy people who live out here. And it's a place where she finds herself and finds home, and also discovers that she possesses some powers on which the fate of the world hinges. So, it's a fantasy sci-fi hybrid set in a fun kind of western town. So it's kind of a mishmash of genres.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
You nailed it.
Tell me about the decision process of creating your protagonist. In this case, you've chosen a female. Of course, we see lots of male leads in lots of shows. Times are changing, but even beyond male versus female, talk about kind of envisioning and designing this character when you haven't written her story, her journey yet.
Well, I think we both cheer for the underdog, and so Talon's a real fugitive, and the whole world is kind of pitted against her. So I think we start there with the character. Having it be a woman, I think in this in traditional fantasy is such a man's world, and it's
Right.
a military outpost. So there's a lot of male characters that really clash with her fierce independence in the show. And I think in our time, I think that rings well. But I think also just in any story to have that much opposition against a character, the conflict that comes out of that is the most visceral you can get. So I think in a lot of ways we feel it's the perfect character for a show like this. In a science fiction fantasy world of the kind that we created.
And then you have to cast someone who's been in your mind. I always think that must be one of the really hard things about creating a film or in this case a series.
Yeah, it was kind of tricky casting process because we needed someone who was believable as an action star, and yet also, exotic looking. And we kind of scoured the world high and low and found a wonderfully talented actress down in Australia. So Jessica Green plays the role of Talon, and it's kind of one of her first big TV roles, and she brought a lot of physicality to the role. She did most of the physical stuff herself, but
Really?
she sent us, part of her audition, she sent us like this MMA reel that she put together of her training in MMA and doing some sword fighting, and she was really convincing.
We looked at a lot of actresses for this role, and it wasn't until she came along that everybody leaned forward in their seats, and
now we're
we felt like we'd been through so many, and we really got to a place where everyone was agreeing. So it's an exciting moment. It didn't come down to a lot of disagreements. In the end, we all felt the same. So
I think we've got
how you want to be in casting. So
yeah, absolutely. If you're on the fence, it's almost like it's tough to make the decision. It's tough to make the wrong decision. But if you've got that kind of a performer, that kind of an artist that has presented themselves to you. Now, were you guys going around casting, or was this just submissions where you were getting
every way? A lot of our UK casting was we looked a lot of video. We did a lot of traditional casting in LA, and she actually came to us through there from Australia, and so but we did a lot of everything, and we looked through just hundreds, thousands of potentials for the role. So and we wanted to find just right. And like he said, the stunt reel was key, and that weeds out a lot of people. A lot of people, you say they can do it, but do they have the strength and the toughness to do
a great actor, not physical enough. Bodybuilder, superstar can't act.
She's fighting in just about every episode. So
that's awesome.
And fighting big guys, and one of the, I hate to watch shows where it's like little person hits giant person, they go flying. Jessica really, like I said, she brought strength and believability to that role.
And when you talk about, I think of the phrase, star making turns, where it's like, wow, here's an amazing project that if I get the right person, things are good, and it can kind of work in the opposite direction. That if you get that right person, the star becomes the star, but also carries what may not have been the same outcome if you don't have that person. And of course, as writers, that's a high wire act for sure.
Yeah, that's the other half of the coin, right? Is that you write down the words, and you really want them to be brought to life by someone who makes the character. And as writer producers, we're so particular about our own mental image of a character. So not just for the Talon role, but for all of the cast. In every case, it became, either I have to change the way I think about this character, which in some cases was exactly what we did. We changed the character once it was cast, or the other way around. This person fits that character so perfectly that.
Fantastic. Hey, you guys, let's take a quick break. I want to talk a little bit after a commercial about the CW, your deal there, and of course, on into the future of this great series.
Great.
Thanks.
All right, you guys, more with Kynan and Jason from the Outpost. Right after this, we will return shortly. Welcome back. I'm chatting with the creators of a brand new, about to premiere television series. It's tomorrow night on the CW. It's called The Outpost, and Kynan and Jason are here. Welcome back, fellows.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell me about, you mentioned that you wrote this and you spec made it. Talk about distribution, talk about that, the sales process and your involvement and how that went.
Well, we had a plan for the series, which was a plan that if we did it truly on our own with no partners and no planned distribution, we had a plan to get through that and a financial plan to make that happen with some traditional sort of equity investment.
Yeah, we come from the kind of independent film world, and we looked at the market and said, there's no independent TV series, and yet that's the way the market was moving. So we were pretty excited to just go out and make our own show. But then we ran into the guys over at Electric Entertainment, which is Dean Devlin's company. He did Stargate and Independence Day, and they do a TV show called The Librarians right now. Anyway, we ended up partnering up with them on that. They were like, hey, we like what you're doing, can we be involved? And we saw a great partner in Dean.
And then the exact right home for this, to be honest, is something like the CW. There aren't a lot of channels that focus on genre shows.
Right.
You know, they've got the DC Universe shows, all the superhero things. They do vampires. They do, you know, all different. They've got the 100, which is science fiction, and so for a show like the Outpost, which is this fantasy science fiction show, the CW brand sort of lined up perfectly. So. We were pretty excited at the shot to pitch to CW.
And we also we sold all the international rights to Sci-Fi Channel. So overseas it will be playing on Sci-Fi, which is another good fit for this kind of genre.
Yeah. So we feel like all the right fans who watch all the right shows, who would possibly be really excited about this show, are getting exposed to it. So really landed in the right places for us.
Yeah. So it started as like a little project we were doing in our backyard, and kind of just grew and grew as we added partners and distribution. And
we talked about indie TV and how, you know, there's indie film, but there's not indie TV because it's either too big or you can't get into the networks. It's hard to do that. So that was really our goal, was to break through that and get an indie TV show that was produced really independently, picked up by a network, and that's where we got to. So couldn't really be happier.
Yeah, I bet. So how far along are you guys as far as production and writing? Now that you've got a deal, I'm sure that changes how you look in seasons 2, seasons 3, seasons 4.
TV's crazy. The schedule is such that, you know, in a film it could be years, right, in the process, and then still another year before it comes out when you finish it. Well, TV, we finished shooting in May.
Yeah, we were busy filming.
Edit.
Yeah, we were filming in January. We had started production already when our sales guy came through and said, hey, CW wants it, can you have it ready by July? And we said,
3 months early.
We said, what? We said, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
And then he said, no, you really want to do that. And we're like, okay.
If you want to be on the CW, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah. So we hurried up our post-production schedule and started it right away. And we shot, January through about May, and we've been doing post-production all at the same time since then. So
we're about half delivered now.
Yeah.
So there's still 5 episodes in process.
I was going to say, so you guys are leaving this television studio and going immediately back to the edit bay.
Yeah, we probably have like 20 emails already about, hey, this shot, how's that going?
Yeah, so
it looks good.
Yeah.
In the depths.
Daily.
Yeah. So tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night,
8 p.m. in Utah, if I understand what 9/8 Central means.
Yeah.
Right, Mountain. I always leave us out.
Yeah.
Mountain time.
Mountain is Central, I think. So.
I think we fall in with the Central guys. So 8 p.m. on the CW here in Utah. If you don't have the, if you've cut the cord on cable, then you can watch it on the CW app. They have an app which will play it for you on Apple TV or Roku.
Or if you have an
whatever.
antenna,
That's
you're
exciting.
If you have an antenna, you get the
Over
channel.
there?
So
That's really cool. Congratulations, you guys. Where are you watching tomorrow night? Are you is this like one of those things? You know, Johnny Depp never watches his own movie.
I'm watching it over at some friend's house because I've cut the cord and don't actually have the CW in my home. but they do. So
He has the app.
I
You
have
can
the
watch
app,
it on the app.
but I want to watch it live. And I think you can on the app, but I'm not sure.
So
we're
for the
having
first
Made
one,
arrangements.
we're having a watch party at my friend's house.
Awesome. Jason, how about you?
I'm watching with my family, so we're all gonna
For you.
have some snacks and watch it at home.
Super exciting. Congratulations, you guys. It's a huge deal. And I can't wait to do this again when the accolades have really started rolling in, and hopefully you guys will still take my calls. So
No,
Always.
that'd be
We love
great.
it.
Oh, we look forward to that day.
yes, and I do too. They won't call me back.
Just let us know.
Yes.
No,
Excellent.
that's good.
Thanks for visiting. Best wishes for great success. And social media shout outs for the program.
Yeah, we're on Facebook. I don't know how to. It's the
Just the
Outpost
Outpost.
TV show or something. If you put that in Facebook, it'll bring us up.
We're also at arrowstormentertainment.com is our website. You can find us on Facebook, Arrowstorm Entertainment. So.
Excellent. Outpost series.
Yep.
Go find it, you guys. Thanks for coming. Good to see you guys. Best wishes.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Eric.
All right, fam, there you go. Tomorrow night, for 1 hour this week, you have my permission to not watch Park City Television and to tune in for our friends Jason and Kynan and their premiere of The Outpost included in your viewing plans. 8 p.m. CW tomorrow night. Get the app, do the thing, enjoy, and support Utah arts. We're going to take a break. Lots more with Mask after this, because I love you.